Dana, just incredible to see some of the damage. I know a lot of fishermen still picking up the pieces out there, and another storm is headed our way.
I know, that's kind of my main concern with the storm coming this weekend. It's going to be marginally weaker than the one that we just saw today, but still a powerful storm, and even that we don't have a lot of time to kind of pick up that damage from this storm. And very impressive high wind gusts all across the state, getting into the 60s in Portland and Greenville, other places like Bangor gusting to 58 miles per hour. That's very high wind gusts that cause downed trees and power outages and a lot of damage across the state, and that's really just a lot of things that high winds can do. Now, we started out with snow in a lot of spots and then transitioned to rain, but we did still see a lot of snow. The Carrabassett Valley got 14 inches, 13.5 inches in Andover. Now, once that rain started to fall, it did compress some of that snow. So I think Carrabassett Valley earlier said they had about 7 inches at the end of the day. Now, Portland Jetport did report a trace of snow. In downtown Portland, I didn't see any snow coming down. We started out as mostly rain, but there was a little bit of a trace of snow there. Now, something that we didn't really talk about today because we were talking so much about the damage from the storm is how warm it was out today. A lot of us got into the upper 40s, and you can see here, this is the 24-hour temperature change graphic. In Caribou and Holton, 15 to 20 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. And that means we had a little bit of a quiet record come in today. So Portland actually tied the high temperature record today. We got to 52 degrees, and this tied the record of 52, which was set back in 2016. So we kind of didn't talk about this because of all the damage today, but we did set a record in terms of temperature. Now, the radar is much quieter tonight. The storm has since moved out of our area. A couple little snow flurries popping up here and there, but overall of pretty little consequence. And the radar is going to stay quiet really until we get into the weekend, and then things are going to start picking up again. We do still have a flood warning in effect, and this is in effect until Thursday at 7:30 a.m. And this is for one of the rivers flooding in the Falmouth area, and that'll be in effect until tomorrow morning. So a concern we have for low temperatures tonight, dropping down below freezing in most spots, might be a little bit above freezing in the southern coast, but we could see some of that water begin to freeze overnight tonight. So if you're going to be out tonight into tomorrow morning, just be aware of any kind of frozen or slick spots out there on the road. So now we're going to jump into that hour-by-hour forecast. So calm overnight tonight, kind of a mix of clear skies and clouds. And overall, as we get into tomorrow morning, we'll start out the day pretty sunny, but we'll pick up some cloud cover in the afternoon. So mostly cloudy to overcast skies throughout the afternoon on Thursday. Same going into Thursday night as well. So that'll allow our temperatures to be a little bit higher as we go overnight. Then Friday, we'll start out the day with some cloud cover and then break out into sunshine. This is Friday at 9 a.m. A little bit on the chilly side. Friday is going to be one of the colder days that we're going to see this week, but overall plenty of sunshine throughout the day and overnight as well. It isn't until about 10 p.m. that we start to build in the cloud cover, and that's coming ahead of our next system, which is going to look a lot like the system that we just saw. So a lot of us in the southern coast will start with either a wintry mix or rain, kind of dependent on that temperature being right around freezing. And then we're going to watch that rain snow line again. So this is Saturday at 6 a.m. The difference with this system is that it's a little bit less overnight, and it's going to be more in the morning and into late afternoon on Saturday. So this is Saturday at 8 a.m. That means the rain snow line has pushed up to the Lewiston and Augusta area. Once again, north of that rain snow line is going to be heavy snow falling and heavy rain to the south of the rain snow line. So this is Saturday at 11 a.m. Rain snow line has pushed up to Bangor. We're starting to see a little bit of a break in the precipitation coming into New Hampshire and into western Maine as well. And that's going to continue into the afternoon. We'll start to break up some of that precip, but once again, almost all of us, except for the highest mountain peaks, are going to change over from snow into rain. So very similar to that last storm that we just saw. And then as we get later into the day on Saturday, most of us will transition into rain. And by the time we get to early Sunday morning, just a couple of snow showers left in the mountains. And then once again, a very quick moving storm. So overall, this storm does have less water in it than the one that we just saw. So overall, a little bit less on the snowfall totals. We don't have any of those 12+ bullseyes up in the mountains. And once again, if you're in those blue colors, you're going to lose most of the snow that falls because of the rain coming in after that. So like I said, a little bit less in terms of precipitation. Here we're only going to pick up about an inch, as opposed to last time we were looking at really 1.5 inches to 2 inches of precip. So flooding is still a concern here, but a little bit less than with the storm that we just saw. But once again, we're contending with those high wind gusts as we get into early Saturday morning, once again gusting into the upper 50s. So power outages are going to be a concern again. Again, marginally less than the storm that we just had, but I don't want to I still want to emphasize that this is going to be a very impactful storm, especially because we didn't have a lot of time to do this cleanup. But I do want to also emphasize that we are expecting more coastal flooding around high tide on Saturday, which is going to be around noon, because we're going to gain about a foot from what we saw today. So from marine forecast, 7 to 13 feet, small craft advisory. So Zach, we have a little bit of a respite coming in to do some cleanup for Thursday and Friday, but very quickly we have another system coming in. So unfortunately, we just kind of got to be prepared.
Sounds good, Dana. Thank you so much.